who thinks she can waltz onto British television and rewrite the rules. In just 31 seconds, one cutting comment about working mothers would turn Meghan Markle from gracious guest to public enemy number one as Judy Love delivered the most savage takedown in loose women history. This is the story of how entitlement met its match and why you should never underestimate a woman who's fought for everything she's earned. The Loose Women studio buzzed with unusual energy that Tuesday afternoon. The cameras rolled, theme music fading, revealing the iconic panel desk, where four of Britain's most outspoken women sat ready for what they believed would be just another celebrity interview. Judy Love anchored the discussion with her trademark warmth, the warmth of someone who'd clawed her way up from single motherhood to television stardom. Beside her was Ruth Langsford, whose decades in broadcasting had trained her to smell trouble before it even walked onto set. Then there was Colleen Nolan, whose Irish wit and no-nonsense delivery made her a fan favorite. And finally Kay Adams, whose Scottish sensibility balanced the group like a steady hand on a turbulent sea. Right then, ladies, Judy announced, smiling toward the camera, we've got a very special guest joining us today. She's been making headlines around the world, and now she's here to share her thoughts on motherhood, career, and finding balance in the public eye. The audience applauded as Meghan Markle walked onto the set. Designer outfit flawless, smile polished by years of media training. She settled elegantly into the guest chair, legs crossed, hands folded as if posing for a magazine cover. Meghan, lovely to have you here, Judy began warmly. You've been quite vocal about the challenges of being a working mother. Can you tell our viewers about that experience? Meghan's eyes brightened instantly. Well, Judy, I think what people don't understand is the unique pressures that come with my position when you're balancing royal duties, media appearances, charitable work, and raising children. It becomes incredibly overwhelming. Most mothers simply don't have to deal with the level of scrutiny and responsibility I face daily. Ruth's eyebrow twitched. Colleen exchanged a look with Kay. Something in Meghan's tone, something polished, privileged, and faintly dismissive, hung in the air like a spark ready to ignite. Meghan continued, warming to her speech. When I wake up, I'm not just getting children ready for school. I'm considering charitable causes needing my attention, which media appearances best serve my brand, and how every action will be analyzed by millions. It's a level of complexity most working mothers could never comprehend. Silence fell. Judy's smile stayed, but the warmth behind it cooled, sharpened. Most working mothers? She repeated slowly. And in that moment, the temperature of the entire studio shifted. Most working mothers, Judy repeated, the words rolling off her tongue with a weight Meghan hadn't expected. Her smile remained, but her eyes had hardened, sharpened, as if she were reassessing the woman sitting across from her. The audience sensed it too. A quiet ripple of anticipation spread through the studio. That's interesting, Meghan, Judy continued, voice smooth but edged. Because sitting at this table are women who've juggled television careers, raised children, dealt with public scrutiny, and somehow managed to do it without suggesting other mothers couldn't comprehend their struggles. Meghan's smile flickered, but she pressed on. Oh, I'm not diminishing anyone's experience. I'm simply pointing out that my situation is rather unique. When Ruth goes home after filming, she can switch off. When I go home, I'm still representing an institution, still being photographed, still expected to be perfect all the time. Ruth slowly leaned forward, her expression calm but icy. Actually, Meghan, I don't switch off. When I leave here, I go home to care for my husband with dementia. I've done live television for 30 years while raising a son, navigating family crises, and yes, facing public scrutiny. But I've never suggested that makes me more special than any other working mother. The tension thickened. Meghan shifted, taken aback. I think there's a misunderstanding here. I wasn't suggesting I'm more special. I was just explaining the unique challenges that come with my particular role. Colleen let out a breathy laugh through her nose, irritation creeping into her Irish tone. Unique challenges, love? I've raised 4 kids while working in telly, dealt with public divorces and addiction issues splashed across headlines, and somehow managed it without acting like other mothers. Couldn't possibly understand my life. So tell us again, what exactly makes your challenges so much more difficult than ours? A faint flush crept up Meghan's neck. Well, I think the scale is different. The global attention, royal protocols, constant media pressure. It's not really comparable to regular television work. That was the spark. Judy's professional mask slipped. Her smile disappeared completely. Regular television work. She echoed, incredulous. Let me explain something about regular television work. I started as a single mother with 2 kids, working multiple jobs to pay rent. No staff, no designers, no publicists, just me. And I still had to show up here and prove I belonged. The room froze. And every woman on this panel, Judy added, gesturing to the others, has their own story, stories full of hard work, real struggle, and real sacrifice. Meghan opened her mouth, but nothing came out. The studio sensed the beginning of an eruption. Meghan tried to regain her composure, but the atmosphere had shifted beyond her control. The polished calm she'd arrived with was crumbling, piece by piece, under the weight of 4 women who had spent their entire lives earning every inch of space they occupied. I'm not trying to diminish anyone's experiences, Meghan insisted, though the tremor in her voice betrayed her. I'm simply explaining that when you're part of the royal family, when everything you do reflects on an entire institution, the pressure is enormous. I don't think that's unreasonable to point out. Kay Adams, who had been quiet until now, finally leaned in. The issue isn't whether your life has pressures. Of course it does. The issue is that you're presenting those pressures as something beyond the comprehension of other working mothers. Do you understand how that sounds? To women watching who juggle jobs, mortgages, family illnesses, tight budgets, without the resources you have. A ripple of uneasy murmurs spread through the audience as Meghan stiffened. Her media-trained smile was gone, replaced by something sharp and defensive. I think you're all being rather unfair, she snapped. I came here expecting a supportive conversation, not to be attacked by a panel clearly holding some agenda. Judy's eyebrows shot up so fast the audience gasped. Agenda? She repeated, voice low with disbelief. The only agenda we have is calling out nonsense. You sat here and told millions of working mothers that their struggles aren't complex enough to understand yours. How did you expect that to go down? That's not what I said, Meghan protested. It is exactly what you said, Kay interjected, her Scottish accent cutting clean through the tension. We all heard it. The cameras caught it. Meghan's jaw tightened. I was taken out of context. No, Judy said sharply. You were speaking from privilege, from entitlement, and from a place where you genuinely believe your problems matter more than anyone else's. Ruth nodded, her voice soft but deadly precise. Being in the public eye teaches humility, Meghan. It's supposed to. It makes you aware of how your words land. It doesn't make you more self-important. I'm not self-important, Meghan shot back, though even she seemed unsure of it. Colleen leaned forward, her irritation now unfiltered. Love, you literally spent half an hour telling us our lives are less complex than yours. That's not humility. That's superiority. Meghan's voice rose. You're twisting everything. I came here to talk about motherhood. And we are talking about motherhood, Judy said, eyes locked on hers. Motherhood without privilege. Without staff. Without safety nets. The kind of motherhood most women watching live every single day. A silence fell so thick it felt physical. And for the first time, Meghan Markle looked genuinely rattled. Meghan's breathing grew shallow as the weight of the moment pressed down on her. The show was live, the cameras locked on her face, capturing every flicker of frustration, every flash of indignation she could no longer hide. She opened her mouth to salvage what was left of her composure. But Judy was ready, calm now, but unshakable. The problem, Judy said, voice steady, is not that you face pressure. Everyone here knows pressure. The problem is that you came on this show and dismissed the experiences of women who have battled just as hard, if not harder, than you ever have. That's not fair, Meghan fired back, her voice trembling with anger. You're all twisting my words and making me a villain because I dared to say my situation is unique. Ruth leaned forward, her tone gentle but unarguable. Unique isn't the problem, Meghan. Unique is fine. But you took unique and turned it into superior. You suggested that women like us, women who've balanced careers and families without wealth or staff or security teams, couldn't possibly understand your world. Kay folded her arms, eyes narrowing. And you still can't hear how insulting that is. Meghan's jaw clenched. Privilege doesn't protect you from emotional suffering. Money doesn't make motherhood easy. No one said it did, Colleen replied, shaking her head. But money and privilege help. Resources help. Freedom helps. And pretending they don't? That's where people stop relating to you. The audience murmured in agreement. Megan's frustration flared like a spark hitting dry grass. You're being hostile, she snapped. All of you. I came here in good faith, and you ambushed me. Judy stood. Slowly. Deliberately. The room held its breath. You walked in here, she said quietly, and told millions of hardworking mothers that their lives lack complexity, that they don't face scrutiny, that they don't understand responsibility. You want to talk about ambush? That was your ambush. Megan opened her mouth to retort, but Judy wasn't done. And then, Judy continued. You accused us of having issues with successful people. Megan, every woman at this table is successful. The difference is, we've never forgotten where we came from. We don't weaponize our challenges to elevate ourselves above others. Silence. Absolute silence. Finally, Megan stood up abruptly. I don't have to sit here and be lectured. You don't, Ruth replied softly. But maybe you should. Megan hesitated, caught between pride and the sinking awareness that the studio, the audience, and the cameras had all turned against her. She forced a stiff smile, nodded sharply, and walked off the set without another word. Judy exhaled, sat down, and looked into the camera. Ladies, she said slowly, let this be a reminder. Strength isn't measured by privilege, but by humility. The audience erupted into applause. The episode would go down in history. The moment entitlement met its match.